13 of the fantasy basketball season, and here's a few centers I would look to trade and sell this week. The first guy is Mitchell Robinson of the New York Knicks. At time of recording this video, none of these players have been placed on the safety or protocol list. Mitchell Robinson this season, it's been an up and down year. A couple games he's missed as well with injury, but he just really don't put up those big numbers like you would want from the center position on the season here for Robinson. 7.7 points a game, 8.1 rebounds, 1.6 blocks a game. And I know the field goal percentage is great at 78%, but besides that, the numbers really aren't all that great, in my opinion, on the last couple weeks as well here. 9.9 points a game, 9.7 rebounds, a block a game, and 81% from the field. So right here, he's pretty much got a ceiling of some games, scoring 12, 13 points at most, with 10 or 11 rebounds for a center. He don't really rebound the basketball that greatly as Robinson. The last few games for him, January 6th versus Boston, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, 100% from the field. January 8th at Boston, 11 points, 8 rebounds, a block, 100% from the field. And January 10th versus San Antonio, 13 points, 11 rebounds, a steal, 4 blocks, and 100% from the field. So right here, the last 3 games, he's been perfect from the field, but he's a garbage man pretty much under there. A lot of putbacks, a lot of alley-oop dunks. But besides the field goal percentage, the numbers really don't jump off the page to me here for Robinson. I know he's a decent shot blocker, but he's still at only 1.6 on the season. So right here, I think there's more quality centers out there. And over the last few games where his numbers have been bumped up and he's playing better, it's definitely a time to get rid of him, in my opinion, and get something more consistent for your fantasy team. Look to sell Joel Embiid, Philadelphia 76ers. I said it last week to sell Embiid, and right now he's on a great run, no doubt about it, is Embiid. On the season, 27 points, 10.6 rebounds, 4.4 assists, 1.1 steals, 1.4 blocks, 1.3 threes a game, and 47% from the field. But the last couple weeks here, he's been going off as an Embiid. 32.3 points a game, 9.7 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 1.2 steals a game, 1.3 blocks a game, a 3 a game, and 54% from the field. So right here, he's a definite sell-high candidate, in my opinion, is Embiid. Even though he's been healthy over the last 2 weeks of the season, this is a guy we know that doesn't have a good track record of staying healthy and staying on the court. When he plays, no doubt about it, he's a beast for fantasy owners. But this season here, he's already missed tons of ball games. And right now, I just don't know if he's going to get past this 2 or 3 week string of playing consecutively. So the last few games here for Embiid, January 5th at Orlando, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, a block, 54% from the field. January 7th versus the Spurs, 31 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, a block, 43% from the field. And January 10th, last night at Houston, a monster game. 31 points, 8 boards, 6 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, and 56% from the field. So right here, he's cracking 30 points as Embiid over the last 7 ball games. And he's on a great streak, no doubt about it. And right now, while his value is way up there, and he's a big name in fantasy basketball, I think you could get 2 great players for him in a trade. And especially if you're down in the standings, if you put Embiid on the trade block, and you could get 2 solid players, this is the time to do it, to try to get back into the race to make the playoffs in your league. And the third and final center I look to sell this week's Christian Wood of the Houston Rockets. So Christian Wood, he was great last season, and this season still solid numbers, but last year had more of an impact. On the season, 17 points a game, 10 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 1.6 threes a game, and 47% from the field. But the last couple weeks here, the numbers have dropped a little bit. 17 points a game, which has stayed the same, but only 6.1 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.3 steals a game, 1.4 threes, and 54% from the field here. So Christian Wood right now, we know they suspended him a game for misconduct last week. And right here, he's still putting up decent numbers, but not the big stat lines like we saw last season. So maybe the league's caught up to Wood a little bit, or maybe he's just not motivated and he's going through the motions right now. But anyway, I would just trade him off because I still think I could get a decent piece for him, even though his rebounding and scoring has dropped a little bit from last season to this season. So the last few games here for Wood, January 7th versus Dallas, 20 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a block, a 3, 61% from the field. January 9th versus Minnesota Timberwolves, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 4 threes, 50% from the field. And January 10th versus the 76ers, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, a 3, and 41% from the field. So right here, he's pretty much just a scorer at this point, and a guy who's hitting threes. The rebounding ain't all that great. The assist, he's getting maybe 1 or 2 a game over the last few weeks. And the blocks, he'll get maybe 1 a game, if that. So right here, he's just been a down season for Wood. And maybe he was a huge one-week season wonder last year, but this year, where people drafted him second, early third round, he's just not living up to those numbers. And he's a player I would get off my roster because I just don't see this guy, for some reason, picking up the pace more than he has over the last few weeks. So that's a few centers I'd look to sell here and trade for Week 13 of the fantasy basketball season.